I'm a big fan of Sweden, and in today's video I want to talk about 8 things that make Swedes so special. If you're new to my channel, I'm Yuli, I'm originally from Germany, and I moved here 1 year ago with my British partner and my 3-year-old daughter, and now we also have a 3-month-old daughter, 2 daughters. We moved here from London, UK, and we moved just outside of Stockholm. And on this channel I love to talk about my personal opinion about what it is like to live here in Sweden. You know, the joys, the obstacles, what you need to know about Sweden, you can find here on my channel. So feel free to follow along. So let's start with what makes Swedes so special. So the first thing I want to talk about is that Swedes make the most of summer. Of course, there's a reason behind it. You know, summers are quite short and winters are longer, and that also means like it's darker and colder here. So you really want to make the most out of summer, and the Swedes just nailed it. I can't stop thinking about that Swedes are Vikings. You know, as soon as it gets a little bit warmer, like more like spring, just before summer, the kids are out, they are in the cold water, they really make the most out of the good weather. And I'm very impressed with that. And to be fair, Sweden is really perfect. Alone, Stockholm has lots of beaches. You can hang out by the many lakes, but also by the sea. And it looks stunning, it feels stunning, you know. I think that is very special about Sweden. But also, you know, the Swedes took on the opportunity and they just spent as much time as possible in summer outside. My knowledge is still quite limited. I can not even imagine how amazing Sweden in general is, and I'm just talking about the Stockholm area. So there is so much more to discover in Sweden for sure. But yeah, I'm just very stunned how brave those little kids are, and of course adults are jumping in as well. I think it will take me another few years until I'm brave enough to just dip into cold water and embracing the Viking style. So yeah, I find it also quite special that at summertime the country really kind of slows down. Everyone is taking time out of work for like a month or maybe even longer. They go to their summer houses, you know, and hang out there, relax, really trying to make the most out of summer. So it actually was a bit shocking when we arrived here last year in June. Things were really slowing down. But yeah, hopefully maybe in 10 years we can also afford a summer house. But we have a few years now to also adapt to the Swedish life in summer, slow down a bit, make the most out of the summer, and really enjoy it. I just feel like when someone really appreciates something, you know, the happiness level is to the roof. And definitely during the summer, everyone is just really happy that the sun is out, that it's warmer, that they can go to the beaches, the countryside. I feel like it's quite special for Swedes that the summer is so magical. But yeah, let's jump to the next one why I think Swedes are so special, and that's kind of the opposite of what I just talked about. And Swedes love Christmas. You know, I always thought Christmas is quite a German thing. There are lots of Christmas markets, the Christmas spirit, a lot of Christmas traditions come from Germany. But I feel like the Swedes love it even more. I mean, Christmas started quite early last year, so it was our first Christmas in Sweden. And I was very surprised that like decorations and the Christmas spirits already started kind of October. And I thought that's quite early, but that's actually when I start to get in the spirit already, you know. You can never start early enough. Yeah, and I was quite surprised that, you know, the same kind of attitude Swedes have as well. And something I didn't expect as well was after Christmas, the Swedes keep up their decorations for such a long time. I thought maybe mid-January they would like take down everything and then that's kind of it. But I think it lasts until end of February. Everyone kept up their decorations, and I think it's because, you know, January and February are still very dark month, you know, and it can feel maybe a little bit depressing. And why not keeping up Christmas decorations? You know, at least you have something to look at when it's so dark in the afternoon and evening. So why not keep it up? I like that spirit. But yeah, also when it comes to food, and I made a video about it, and I'm sure I'm trying some new Christmas delights this Christmas as well, so definitely follow along. But yeah, I made a video about some special foods. You know, the Swedes have some very delicious things you actually eat around Christmas, so that's also quite special. Making the most of summer and just making the most of Christmas, that is Sweden. And then something which ties a little bit into Christmas is that Swedes celebrate quite a few amazing festivities. And that's something I really kind of discovered only when I moved here. Some traditions like Midsummer, even Easter is celebrated a little bit in a different way than what I used to. And there's also Lucia, which is around Christmas. I made a video about it as well, so you can have a look, but I try to maybe share some pictures here as well, so you get a better idea what these festivities are. So we actually just celebrated Midsummer, and it was lovely. Friends invited us to their family to celebrate with us. There were a bunch of kids as well, and I think they had the best time. We stayed within the Stockholm area. A lot of people like go to the countryside. And about 7 years ago, I did actually that with some Swedish friends as well. They showed us for the first time what it is to celebrate Midsummer. So far, we really enjoyed I think maybe 3 times we celebrated it now. It's a wonderful celebration. You basically just celebrate the summer, hey, appreciation, making the most of summer, right? And fertility as well. So that's Midsummer. It's really amazing. It's very magical. I love it. And then I mentioned already there is Easter, and it's not only about looking for eggs, you know, and the Easter bunny hiding eggs. There are little witches, cute witches going around town, a little bit like Halloween, from door to door to get some sweets. So that definitely I've never heard of until I moved here. And I'm looking forward to, you know, celebrate that properly. This year we were not so familiar with it, but next year we will adapt a little bit more to that tradition. And then Lucia, I mentioned it around Christmas. I think it's the 13th of December. I don't know if it's every year the 13th of December or maybe it falls on a weekend, but it's beautiful. There's lots of lights, there's singing, there is again like really embracing the season. I read a little bit or heard from you guys, because it's a very dark time, you want to kind of light up and show people where to go, making sure that people find you, and overall that you just feel comfortable and cozy, and also celebrate with the community. And then something food related, Swedes love to eat potatoes. And again, this is something I didn't really know until I moved here. You know, potatoes are also quite famous in Germany, but Swedes love their potatoes. I feel it's in every dish. You know, you definitely have it at Christmas or whenever you have some food related specialties. Potatoes is definitely one. We just celebrated Midsummer and there were potatoes involved, like a potato gratin, just boiled potatoes or fried potatoes. Potatoes is definitely a thing here, and Swedes love it. While I hate to say we're not the biggest fans of potatoes, my daughter also has a lot of potatoes at kindergarten, and she's not the biggest fan yet, but I'm sure we can adapt to that over time. One thing that make Swedes so special as well, that they are so innovative. It's such a small country, well, or let's say less inhabitants, you know, than some other EU countries, and still they founded one of the most iconic companies. They are at the forefront of recycling, you know. Swedes have some talent. I think Swedes are quite good at identifying problems and finding solutions, and they use technology to their advantage as well, which you should obviously. So yeah, there are companies like Spotify and Klarna, although we don't want to talk about all the layoffs lately. These are still very innovative companies. And then I mentioned recycling, where Sweden even is looking for more rubbish from other countries so they can recycle it here in Sweden, because they just nailed it. And I think with all this global warming, this is definitely a very important part. I just love that Swedes are very curious, very creative, and that makes me feel very excited to live here, and also for my daughters to grow up here and get this overall spirit of innovation and creativity. One thing I already mentioned, but I have to say it here as part of why Swedes are so special, is really the fitness level they have. I'm still very impressed, and it's also something I just discovered when I moved here, how fit Swedes are, and they're just nailing it as well to stay fit, to have their like hobbies, sports, if it is running, football. Of course, we talked about this already. Some of you commented on that as well. Not every Swede is like super fit, of course, but when you look at the country in a whole, it's definitely fitter than Germany, 100% fitter than the UK, where obesity is quite a problem. And I haven't heard that obesity is a problem here in Sweden, and that's for a reason. And I think that makes it quite special that they just have the spirit of like moving their bodies, which also helps, the mind. And with those long winter months, it's probably also good to have a bit of a routine to work out. And this is definitely also something I want to adapt, and I want to get fitter. I want to have this really good habit and then also pass it on to my children, to move the body, to make it something very enjoyable and not like, oh, you have to work out because you have to stay slim or something like that. Also, depending on where you live, but even Stockholm has beautiful running paths. You run next to a lake or next to the sea. Like, there's so many green parks. I mean, you kind of have to get into sports to enjoy that as well, to get out in nature and just move your body. And then a smooth transition to the next topic, which is about the outdoors. I find that also very, very special here in Sweden, and that makes the Swedes very special as well, because they're actually using it, spending as much time outside as possible. And there are even like some rules, or the lack of rules, where you can just go outside camping anywhere you want. This is definitely something I've learned since I moved here. I've not tried it yet, because last year we were so busy, and this year my daughter was just born, so we didn't really want to go camping with a 3-4 months old baby. But next year in summer we definitely want to go camping. My partner is also a big fan of camping, so we can't wait. But yeah, also like combining it with probably sports. There are people out on boats, but also canoes, trying to move their bodies as well at the same time. Then hiking, obviously the landscape is so beautiful. Again, it would be such a waste to stay inside. You want to get out there and really enjoy nature and the outdoors. And of course, there are other countries. Even Germany has beautiful landscapes and everything. But Sweden is just a tick more beautiful. I mean, there's also other Scandinavian countries, of course, but still, it had to be on my list because I think that makes Swedes still very special. And yeah, even at winter, where you think you want to stay inside most of the time, Swedes actually try to get out as well. One thing which I made a video about as well is that they even have barbecues when it's really cold outside. Even when there's snow outside, they have a lovely barbecue, a hot chocolate. I mean, it does sound quite dreamy. I was a bit shocked at the beginning, but then I was like, this is a very cool way to adapt to the different seasons, and making the best out of the seasons. It is quite special that you still go outside. And of course, there's lots of winter sports you can do as well, like skiing and snowboarding. So I quite like that spirit, that outdoors and nature plays such an important role in the lives of Swedes. And last but not least, it might be a little bit boring for Swedes to hear, because for them it's just very usual. It's part of their day-to-day life. But taking out time to have a coffee and a treat, almost every day, which is called Fika, that is still very special for Swedes. I have not heard of that until I moved here. So I think that's when people move here, it's one of the first things they probably maybe hear about, and then probably also adapt to, because it's a very lovely thing to just relax a little bit and not be so stressed all the time. Maybe when you work, even at work, colleagues just take out, I don't know, maybe half an hour or less, 20 minutes to have a coffee, which Swedes love as well, and have a little treat, which are absolutely delicious. Those buns they have here, I feel like I haven't made the most out of it, but it should definitely be more on my radar to go out there, meet a friend, and have a fika together. I mean, my baby is growing up a little bit more and it will be easier with her to go outside. But yeah, this is definitely a very nice, let's call it tradition, you have here in Sweden. And it's definitely one of the things which make Swedes so special. I feel there are more things which make Swedes so special, but this is enough for this video. I don't want to make it too long. As always, thanks so much for watching till the end, and I hope I will see you in my next video. Until then, have a great day and stay safe. Hey do!